Behind me, I have 20 of the most frustrating things in the Create mod. Now, let me preface this by saying that I love Create. I use it all the time, and it even made me fall in love with mod at Minecraft again. But just like any mod, it has some quirks that really get on my nerves sometimes. Make sure to comment down below any frustrations you guys have with Create mod, and, well, let's get started. Now we're going to be starting off with something that is undoubtedly a skill issue for me, a major skill issue in fact. It was something that just tore me apart when I first picked up the Create mod, and it's Gearbox Spam. I would spam gearboxes all the time, and it would always make me feel bad about myself since, even just trying to do a simple thing like this, I would end up using like 6, 7, 8 gearboxes, and come on, it's so much easier just to throw on another gearbox. I mean, it's gonna work. Why actually fix the root of your problems when you can just throw on like 3 more gearboxes and it'll work? Next up, we have a scene that I know all too well. Now, for some of you, for me, certainly almost every single time, whenever you try to print out a schematic that includes any kind of belts, cogs, shafts, whatever, they get messed up, and they get messed up pretty bad. I'm talking the mechanical belts go into the item vaults. They're completely the wrong way. These mechanical belts are supposed to be connected, but somehow the shaft has ended up inside of the item vault, and just nothing works out. I mean, sometimes you got things connecting in the right way, other times they just don't, and it's just an entire mess, and it frustrates me so bad that sometimes, I don't even bother with the schematics. I build it in survival. It's so confusing when it happens. Something else that also confuses me is trains and why they can only have 2 train bogies. I mean, maybe this is a limitation of coding. I mean, I really don't know, but this just seems really obscure to me. And to have extra wheels on your train, you end up having to do some weird kind of like workaround where you don't connect the 3rd one or something. I don't even fully understand how it works. I don't use trains a lot, but I remember that being very confusing for me as to why you just can't have an extra set of wheels and why it doesn't work. I mean, maybe you can change it in the configs. It's just never made sense to me. I mean, please, if someone knows, please give me more insight in the comments. Next up, we have something that isn't really inherently frustrating, but it's more so, why didn't I know this existed? I mean, there is a lot of components in the Create mod and stuff that I never knew existed that completely would have solved all my problems. And I ended up having to do a much more complicated way. Things like this usually include pretty much all of the Create mod redstone components. I mean, these are all so useful. If you guys don't know what these are, absolutely check them out. They absolutely make vanilla problems so much easier. But then you have things like the nozzle, the turntable, I mean, a sticker? I had never heard of a sticker before. Okay guys, while researching for this video, I actually found out about this haunted bell. I don't know how many people know about this, but I know for sure that I've never heard of this. It's really cool. I mean, this is mod at Minecraft, let's be honest. Most of us are playing with light overlay mods. We can see, kind of where mobs can spawn. But this gives a solution in the Create mod. Look at this guy. You ring this bell and it pretty much shows you, yeah, where mobs can spawn, and it has these little things, and this is just so cool to me. I never knew that this was in Create. It's so cute. I love it. Something that is not very cute is rose quartz, specifically polishing this stuff with sandpaper. This is one of the most egregious processes ever early game. I mean, it does help a little bit that you can use your offhand, right? But it's still kind of atrocious. I mean, if you don't have an add-on that lets you, polish this stuff easier, like Enchantment Industry, an amazing mod that, adds a mechanical grindstone, this thing can polish rose quartz. But the base Create mod way, automating sandpaper, having it go into the deployers, I think, it's right madness. That shouldn't even be a thing. There absolutely should be an easier way to polish rose quartz. I love the addition by Enchantment Industry. Next up, we have something that I am very passionate about. Now, I love toolboxes. I love color coding my toolboxes. I think they are one of the most handy things in Create, to just be able to, have all your tools and return them. It's an amazing process. That's it. That's all I'll say. They're an amazing tool, but the range is so short. I mean, right here, you're fine, but just step out of this zone, you're suddenly not fine. You need to keep picking these up and, taking them with you absolutely everywhere you go. They're just too short. They're just too short. Just give us, please, like 20 blocks, 32. 32 is great, but just I mean, okay, I also lose these things a lot. So honestly, maybe it works in my favor. Maybe if they increase the range, I would lose them a lot. I'm talking too much about toolboxes. I love toolboxes. Okay, next one, whatever. Now, running out of stress units is a pretty common early game problem, but I feel like this would be even more annoying late game. I mean, if you're working with blaze burners and all that, you don't want to have to stop everything you're doing and have to go make an entire other blaze burner. I mean, it is quite hindering your progress, but especially early game. Pretty much anything you try to add is just going to overstress your entire network. And I mean, it's an absolute, it's absolutely crushing to your flow. You got to stop everything you're doing. You got to come add more water wheels, and you realize, it's not going to look nice. Oh no, everything's everything's going everywhere. You have to redo your gear shift. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. I hate early game always running out of stress units. Something that goes a little past the early game though is rotation speed controllers. Now, I don't have an issue with rotation speed controllers in themselves. They are an amazing tool. I mean, I love how they just let you, do whatever speed you want in any direction. That part's amazing. What I have an issue with is why in the diddly darn gosh, oh heck, do they take an input right here and then output it? They output it like one block to the side, one block up, and then facing the other way. I mean, that's such a weird way. I mean, I suppose they had to balance it somehow. And I know you can do the opposite way, like you can input it here and output it here, but it's just still, it's weird. It's weird. Why do I want to go one block up or down and then in the other direction? I usually always have to do some weird kind of finagling because that's just not the way I want my shafts to go. Whatever. Okay, very passionate about this, very annoyed by these, especially in tight machines. I mean, skill issue, yeah, absolutely, a skill issue. Next up, this especially gets on my nerves whenever I'm, doing any kind of factory, is just vertical item transportation. I mean, I know there are a lot of ways to do this. It's just kind of a pain, You're making a factory, you're on your vibe, you're doing things, and just, you gotta take items up. Or you want to make things more compact, all items gotta go up. You go vertical so you don't go more horizontal. You got your ways, you got your chutes, which these are kind of slow, not gonna lie. You got your brass funnels, a little expensive, but actually pretty cool. I love how this goes up. I had never done that before. And my personal favorite is the contraption. This thing is pretty much instant. This thing, portable storage interface. Yep, it'll take everything here. The mechanical belts, I'm sorry, they just take up too much space, and usually this is not how I want to go up. I mean, yeah, I guess it works. I guess, but just, the other methods are a lot better. And I really love, I don't know if anyone's seen that meme of just like, I think it's like the D&D sheet of like lawful, good, evil, neutral, or whatever. I love it. I'm going to put it on the screen right here if anyone's ever seen it. That is one of my favorite Create Mod memes ever made. Next up, we have Redstone Links. Now, these things in themselves are amazing. I love the way Create Mod has implemented them. Wireless redstone in Minecraft. I was completely blown away when I saw this. But the fact that they give us this much freedom to make 2 custom inputs with whatever blocks we want. Yeah, I know the first 2 items in my inventory, whatever random stuff is in my inventory, that's what's going there. I'm not, making these ultra super dedicated. So that also means I'm constantly forgetting the signals. I always have to go in like free cam or something just to see what blocks I used. I always have to like take a screenshot or write it down. And then which one's the red one? Which one's the blue one? You can't tell when it's like, Next frustrating thing is more of a gameplay choice than Create Mod's fault. I love the packaging system, right? This is pretty much like my favorite thing Create has ever added. But oh my gosh, having a slow packaging system, or just having your item storage very far away from where you currently are. I mean, look at how long this package is taking to come. And especially if you're doing things like depositing and like crafting, how you would on like an old school Applied Energetics 2 terminal, how that can go super fast and let you craft all kinds of things. This thing is slow sometimes, especially when you expect the lightning fast speeds that we were so spoiled with things like, AE2 and such. And yeah, all the way back to deposit and to be able to craft your other stuff. It's, sometimes the packaging system is a little bit of a nightmare for, doing that heavy, intense modded crafting where you need to craft like 5, 6 different things all at once. That's all. That's all. The create mod giveth and the create mod taketh. Now, what the create mod gave us was renewable sand. Something people in vanilla really want. But what the create mod did not give us, what it took from us, was the ability to make renewable zinc. That means brass is permanently locked. It is a finite resource in the world. And I mean, it's fine. I suppose I understand it for balancing reasons, and there are mods that add recipes for zinc. But base create, not that I know of. No way to get zinc in any kind of renewable way. And I mean, it just makes me a little mad when create is all about automating stuff. It's all about making super pretty automation lines and, just automating everything you can. And why? Why is zinc not... Why? I just want zinc. I just want infinite zinc. It's just the idea that bothers me more than anything, really. Now, this is a bit of a niche case, but this might just be me since I quite like using weighted ejectors. I think they look cool and they add a lot of flair to your factory, but they do make a very important limitation you have to keep in mind. Now, let's say I have a stack of an item, disregard the fact that I just had a skill issue with those spruce logs. Let's say I want to deposit this into the barrel. Oh yeah, it works perfect. Now, if I'm building a factory and, I just have one block go up, and suddenly my whole automation line is now dead. There is nothing that can be done. I just can no longer place blocks there in my factory. It's a little sad. It does provide some limitations, and whenever it does happen, it's just a little annoying, especially when you're troubleshooting and, you don't know what kind of things are going wrong. Next up, we have byproducts from farms. Now, this is more of a personal nitpick, and let me start this off by saying you are not crazy. I also see this. What is this? I have no idea why this has stayed here. I mean, I suppose if we're talking about frustrating things about Create, the minecart contraptions doing this will definitely be on the list. But yeah, byproducts from farms. Now, I know for things like a wheat farm, you can turn it into bone meal, whatever, but just I'm making this farm because I want wheat. I don't want straw and seeds. I just want wheat. You have to make a filter for all this stuff, and it just clogs up your storage system, and it makes you have item filters if you're trying to like automatically extract it. It's just for me. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. It is very good that you get all the resources. It just bugs me a little bit sometimes, especially in that early game. Next up, we have something that I actually don't know a whole lot about, but mechanical belts cause lag. This is something I have always been told. I've always been told to use chain drives for things like going up with my rotational force. I've been told to try to avoid belts, all the create mod YouTubers, I trust them. They're probably smarter than me, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna take their word for it. But everyone says belts are laggy, and it's so sad because they look so cool. I would absolutely want to use belts for just everything and belt spam everywhere I can, but I'm held back. I'm held back by the imaginary fear that belts are laggy. Well, it's not imaginary if it's real. I am choosing to trust everyone. If anyone has actual reasons or why, yeah, I would love to know. I really want to know the reasons why mechanical belts are laggy because these are my favorite things ever. Next up, we have modded storage on contraptions. Now we're talking about things like storage drawers, the functional storage mod, Macaw's furniture, the old school Java barrels if anyone still uses those. I don't know, but this was something I was very disappointed to hear when I first started Create, since, there are a lot of mods that have their own little custom, chests and such, and I'm just too scared to use them. I know there's compatibility mods, but honestly, once you get into the habit of using barrels for absolutely everything, they just kind of look nice. I like the vibe of them a lot. And yeah, that's pretty much where it ended. Yeah, so never using modded storage, always using barrels. It's a little sad sometimes. Next up, we have an issue that really only happens to me when I'm building usually my starter workshop, but it still gets quite on my nerves, quite a bit. So I'm building my workshop, you get your presses, you get your deployer, and then you run into a millstone and things like a mixer. Now there's one very important difference about these machines. Can you see it? This one's a cog, this one's a shaft. It would fit so perfectly. It would be so nice. The world would be amazing. Cities would be blooming. Economies would be up. But no, they're cog machines. So you know what I'm going to do? You know, I'm going to cog spam. I'm going to cog spam. I'm sorry. That's what's going on behind the scenes. Anytime I'm making a workshop, there's cog spam. I'm going to get this orientation no matter what. I love the way this looks all in line. And yeah, I have to resort to the cog spam for that. Next up, we have a little bit of a nitpick that might just be me. I definitely know that there are some hidden magical ways that apparently can protect you from lava when you're in a deployer drill, but I don't know them, and this makes sense to me. If you see this as a regular player, would you not believe that this is supposed to protect you from lava? Well, no, it does not. If lava comes when you're mining with this thing, you are going to die, and I am absolutely trapped here. I can't get out, so I'm doing the rest of the section in here. I would think that this protects me from lava. I mean, I can't even get out, but no, you're going to die, you're going to burn, everything's going to be a mess, you're going to lose all your stuff, your minecart contraption's probably gone. Oh my gosh, lava when trying to do your mining is it's just despicable. It's just absolutely despicable. Next up is another kind of a niche frustration that maybe only I have. I mean, please, if anyone else has ever encountered this, please don't let me be alone. But the piston extension pole elevators. You know, sometimes I want my elevators to be hidden. This little thing right here is a little, hat tipping elevator, and this works perfectly fine in single player, You see me on it, everything's fine and dandy, but if you go onto a server and build this, depending on your ping, whenever you go up on this kind of elevator, you are just, oh, you see, it happened right there. It happened right there. It happens in single player too. Sometimes you take damage. A lot of times you will take damage on a server, and sometimes you may even fall straight through the floor. You're just gonna fall straight through the elevator. I made an elevator on my server with my friends, and just they always fall through the floor. Nobody can use my elevator, and I'm so proud of it. It is the saddest thing in the world. I just wish this worked. I just want a nice little hat tipping elevator, and I know I could use a pulley. I know that would be correct, but this just looks so cool, and I want it. And I really just wish it worked 100% of the time. Last but certainly not least, we have the default schematic size. Now, I don't know how many of us are actually hitting the max schematic size. I mean, I just did for my first time a few days ago, and it was the most heartbreaking thing in the world. I mean, I know it's not that hard to, break your schematic up into multiple pieces and just do it that way, but it's just a little sad. I mean, you can change this in the config, so I wonder why it's not higher. But for example, you just put your schematic here, you try it, and oh, you're told your schematic exceeds the limitations. That is so sad. Heartbreaking whenever it happens. But hey, maybe it's a flex. You have that big of a schematic, that big of a build. It's probably going to be amazing once you get to put it in there. Now that's going to be 20 frustrating things about the Create mod. Please keep in mind that I love this mod. Create is probably my favorite mod ever. But gosh, does it have its little quirks that just bug me a little bit. But if you like this video, I would appreciate it a lot if you went ahead and subscribed. And hey, comment down below any other Create mod content you want me to cover, because I would love to see your suggestions. But that's going to be it for me for now. I look forward to seeing you here in the next video. Bye-bye.